Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey.
Mayday.
It's Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey.
Mayday.
It's Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey.
Mayday.
It's Conrad TV, no hearsay. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. One thing is certain, it's gonna be crazy, yo.
Conversational radio TV, just different.
Hey, hey.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Bona. It's another Friday. It's the 19th of June. We are locked on here with me, Tato Molamu.
And Musi Muklala, bruh.
Muso Matala mfana ba kholla go garden se go Mamelodi ko di Sabapong. He never wanted to tell us ke mfana ba ko di burbs.
Oh, what Joe? Emma.
He's a burbian.
What go to Vele every time when the show starts, I need to be picked on. Like
Man, no one is picking on you.
You know what I mean? Like
no one is picking on you.
I'm not from the burbs, bruh.
Muna, it is said here, right here, it is said that go garden se barke ko di Sabapong. That's what he's saying.
Sharp. Okay, I know, yeah. The Gardens is considered as suburbs.
So why were you fronting like Ngara?
I thought like you were talking about like the actual burbs. You know what I mean? Like, I thought you were talking about like Waterkloof, you know? Linwood, you know?
No, I don't know. You know that in every hood there's always kids that are from the burbs from the hood. Because of what there's different segments and sectors and regionalization and zoning of the hood that you know. No, I can't get that. Swimming pool.
Yeah.
Because people used to think that you don't have swimming pools in the hood.
We actually had a swimming pool at my house. We actually do. My mom, like, we still like, that's the go here too. We have a swimming pool. Yeah, dude. Like when I was born into a house that had a swimming pool. Go kasi.
Listen, my people on Instagram, I don't even know. Did you grow up with a swimming pool at home? Like if you grew up in the hood, I mean, not those that grew up in the burbs, but did your house have a pool? When did you learn how to swim? Like
I learned how to swim like when I was like 3 years old.
He learned how to swim when he was 3 years old. How many of us can say that? How many of us can say that? Let's go, Mamelo.
But I think the beautiful thing about it is that, look, at least back then, you know, because I was born a long time ago. Back then, the houses.
How long time ago? How long time ago were you born? You know, they want to make themselves like sound like, you know, I'm an old oak. Chana, trust me. Enjoy your youth, man.
Mr. Mulamu.
Yes, sir.
Me and you already talk, Oksalayo. Yes, there's an age difference.
Okay.
For all intents and purposes,
no, for sure. You know, Sibongile Shabani says my favorite hood. AB Peters is laughing, and Lalo says, and some can't even swim to this day. Yes, definitely. Yes. And then we've got Reference who says, I'm also from Mamelodi, LOL.
Sure,
Nomzamo Moraro also just joined in. And thank you guys for joining in. Today we've got some great topics that we're going to be talking about. Obviously, we heard what the president was talking about earlier in the week about gender-based violence. Yeah. Gender-based violence, guys, is not just a South African problem. It's a global problem, you know. And I think I'm also just going to ask Muso here to just, you know, to touch on the stats, especially in Africa. I mean, countries like Ghana, Senegal, Ivory Coast, you know, these things are happening there, and they're more scarier through time. And we're realizing more and more, you know, the importance of getting rehab centers for young men to be rehabilitated, because a lot of young men are carrying around a lot of pain, you know, because we've been told, you know, growing up that tigers don't cry. And then when you don't cry, when you wake up the following day and you think that it's okay, you know, to take out your pain that you are carrying from the past on another human being, which I believe is wrong.
Let's show love to our Facebook people.
Our
Facebook family.
Yes, sir.
Lina's always here with us. Arisani Bonani. Hello, Lina. Kanya is laughing at me because of that whole thing. And you made it even worse. Because Barry, which is boy,
imagine being a cheese boy during the times of apartheid, guys. Imagine. Like, what kind of life were you living? Having a swimming pool. But I mean, hey, I didn't have a swimming pool growing up. But we grew up in a very safe neighborhood.
Dude.
Yeah?
You had a farm. Like, I'd rather have a farm than a swimming pool, dude.
Hey man, that was my granddad's and my dad's farm.
Exactly. Like, that wasn't my pool. That wasn't my pool.
All right, fair enough. And Lalo says, yeah, but with all this GBV starts with emotional abuse, which most turn to ignore. And when a guy starts getting physical, it's a bit too late.
Yeah.
That's her opinion right there. It's deeper than we all think it is. And it is a deeper conversation that I think we need to not only converse about, but we need to action on it.
Yeah.
And, we're touching on gender-based violence. What does the future look like for a South African woman? The hashtag men are trash, there's been a movement for many, many years. And why does it take, why does it make some men angry? We're going to describe a healthy relationship. What does that look like? And what does an unhealthy relationship look like? The importance of speaking out and also feeling like you've got a safe space for you to speak out and creating a safe space. New rules and regulations for lockdown. What are your thoughts? That you can go to a casino, but I can't have my friends over.
Yeah.
It's another conversation there. And has the world taken Corona serious? That's another question that we want to be discussing here. What are you going to do now, with some of the rules that have changed? And are we awaiting level 2? And what does this mean for the country? And, I liked that conversation that Julius Malema was having about that people don't have degrees because of alcohol. And that the social injustices that alcohol has brought about, because of what I think not everybody is able to drink responsibly.
I'm sorry.
Not
man.
everybody is able to drink responsibly.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be that guy that says I'm gonna call bullshit because I've always drank, and people don't have degrees because, first of all, some people do not have access to opportunity.
Okay.
And a lot of people, sometimes because of where you're born, getting educated is not necessarily the last thing on your mind, but it's not a priority because you have to take care of your family.
Yeah.
You'll find that your mom is not working, your father died.
Yeah.
After high school, you need to now get to work.
Yeah.
So that you can put food on the table. So
Yeah.
there are many factors that contribute towards people not having degrees. And now to blame it on alcohol, if you actually go to institutions, university institutions, the top ones,
Yeah.
you'll find that they have bars on campus,
Yeah.
even just outside campus, but then
Yeah.
those kids still pass.
Yeah.
So this thing of politicizing alcohol, I think
Yeah.
it's very unfair and it's
Yeah.
very misleading.
Yeah.
Because one thing I can tell you is that the older generation agrees with that because
Yeah.
they hate alcohol, because they hate how their kids act when they drink.
When they're drunk, yeah.
But let us not politicize alcohol. There are many factors why people don't have degrees, but and alcohol is not necessarily a pivotal factor to that, because had that been the case, that would mean that people who drink or binge drink wouldn't have degrees.
Well, no, I think, Muso, there's not really right or wrong when it comes to the issue of alcohol, but we just need to maybe start to really, really identify with what is really driving a lot of social challenges currently in the country. Alcohol by itself is a drug.
Yeah.
Right? It does become addictive.
No.
Like smoking,
No.
like weed,
No.
even medication.
Absolutely.
Right? So and I like that you spoke about contributing factors.
No.
Now when you talk about now gender-based violence, is alcohol in the picture when it talks about a lot of women that are finding themselves abused in households? A contributor. Not that it's the leading cause for gender-based violence, but it's one of the contributors.
Alcohol is definitely a contributing factor in the manifestation of the violence. So violence first happens in our head, right? And we just like, let's say somebody pisses you off, a guy pisses you off, go traffic lighting, and you feel like maybe attacking him or whatever, but you and you're like, okay, no, I'm not going to attack this person. So what alcohol does, it takes away our ability to rationalize that and say, I'm not going to do this. That's why our inhibitions are lost when we drink.
Yeah.
So alcohol is just is not the symptom. It's something that makes the symptom clearer. It makes it.
So it acts like a catalyst.
Yes,
yes. So maybe let's look at it then maybe in this, and that's why I get it. It's neither here nor there. But I would like to just to maybe even get from our listeners. People that currently are spending a lot of money on alcohol? Can they afford it? Can they afford it? And where are the highest number of volume of alcohol being sold?
So, if I were to get technical, and I know you hate this, I'm gonna say technically they can afford it because they can buy it. But I understand where you're coming from. I just had to be that guy. Can they afford to buy it? Probably not, because they have other responsibilities. Because, like you said, where are the highest volumes of alcohol sold? Is in the townships, and that's where the highest unemployment and poverty is. You know, but then just like Kanye just said this right now. He says alcohol abuse is a means to numb other underlying problems. So when people will buy it just to numb, like to forget about their social circumstances, you know, their socio-economic circumstances. Sharp.
Yeah.
Let me drink. Let me do this. Let me do that. And then sometimes they become violent and stuff. But I really believe that the violence starts at the home, because it's an upbringing thing. Like we said last week, it's an upbringing thing that you pick up due to the circumstances in which you are raised. And then alcohol, because alcohol makes people who are control. They just act out whatever comes to their minds. You know what I mean? So that's the problem about alcohol, that apart from numbing the pain, it makes people just not see a problem. And not see, like, so it makes people not see their problems, but it also makes people not see a problem in how they're behaving.
I mean, Bona, you absolutely, man. I mean, a lot of people would say that I drink alcohol to numb the pain, you know? And then we then take it back because it's been a very, very interesting time. I was actually even talking to my next door neighbor, you know, he was part of the army, and I mean, he tells me stories about, you know, during the apartheid times, what used to happen there. And then he talks about the division between the Africans and the English. And then he told me about the concentration camps where Afrikaner women and children were killed.
Yeah.
Right. So then there was that other war that was also happening during that time. So he's saying, listen, man, violence was just happening in different cultures.
Yeah.
Right. Rona, even sometimes, even as men, we were taught to be highly violent. So you can imagine, I'm in the military, I'm seeing violence every single day.
Yeah.
And even this trauma, there was no one that was there, you know, to help me get through it.
Absolutely.
I'm speaking as a man, you know?
Yeah.
And then I then go home. There are my kids. There's my wife. And I'm just getting home and just like, man, I haven't also been taught on how to communicate with my partner.
Of course.
So then I then go and then take my brandy and rum. I drink it.
You go in, man.
I'm trying to numb this thing. And when I'm trying to numb this pain, then my wife then comes and then she's got her own views and concerns.
Of course.
She raises her concerns, and then I then tap into what I saw.
The war nigga.
The
soldier.
The soldier then comes out, right? And then I then become violent then to my partner. You know, there is no like rehabilitation process that we go through even as men. Now, we then get into also post 1994, right? We've now been elected. It's a free country. I get that's what they're saying. Yeah. Then there's the TRC process that happens, but no one ever went to a lot of people's homes and just said, listen, I'm sorry. It just seems like, you know, we're just brushing it under again.
Yeah, like nothing happened.
And that is then leading again
nothing happened.
To a lot of violence that we are seeing. And I'm asking you, you know, what are your views on the role of alcohol? Is it a catalyst? You know, is it something that can be better managed? And if we are to manage it, how best do we manage it? Because I don't even know. I don't have the answer on how to manage it.
To go back to your war analogy, I love it a lot. Just so there's two factors. There's two things I want to mention in terms of the war analogy that you put up across, which is very, very brilliant. First of all, when men go to war, they go to war to protect their women and children.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, fine. You get to war, you become one with the war, and it affects your mind. You forget about, you know, why you're at war. But then I read something very interesting 2 days ago, Tato.
Yeah.
It said that when African soldiers used to return from war, they were subjected to spend, I think, 3 months with a shaman.
Yeah.
Because the African culture, ancient African culture, understood that when a man comes from war, his spiritual levels are imbalanced.
Yeah.
So they subject him to actually spend time with the shaman. So that's the psychology that comes in when you say there's no, you know, and it's exactly, you know what I mean. So and then so the point of this post was that the West has taken away so much of our customs that are actually very effective and are actually important to society. So yeah, just on that point.
I love that you spoke about that part of Africanness, because of a lot of times, even from an identity perspective, you know, we've never wanted to identify ourselves as Africans, and we've never allowed ourselves to be proud to be Africans, right? And now here's an interesting point that Imuso here raises.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it, right? I didn't even know it. And that's I guess that's the advantage of having an attorney. You know, when you have an attorney here in a show, you know, these guys, they read, they know different kinds of cases.
No.
You know, but what then do we then need to do, Muso? Because of the continuation of gender-based violence cannot be the order of the day.
No.
You know, it cannot be the order of the day where women are not feeling safe. We are fathers, we are brothers, and, you know, as a father, you're just thinking, man, is it even safe for my kid to go to school?
Do you know what I saw? You know what I saw on Twitter the other day? I saw, so there was a post by this lady. She said, look, I'm leaving a certain place to go to a certain place. Took a picture of number plate, the service.
The Uber.
Yeah, it wasn't Uber, it was the other one.
Yeah.
Took a number plate of the service and says, if anything happens to me, guys, this is the last place. This is where my last moves are. This is what my last moves are. And just to think that this is what our world has come to, whereas women have to post their movements. Women have to post the number plate, Dijo.
I mean, Bona, you know, Muso, and Leone also, you know, posting your locations and where you are, you know, not even knowing if ever you've got enemies or not. You know, is that uncertainty that women
So
are
now
having.
there's
You know,
those factors as
know,
well.
There's also the factor of, is it even the right thing for me to do? Because I'm exposing as to where my movements are. But you're absolutely right.
Like that. I didn't even think about it like that.
You're absolutely right.
Because now, if you have a stalker, your stalker's following you. Because now, your stalker's going to follow you. Ba follow say, utseke stalker. Fetsa ngwana batho, wa Uber.
The last person that you were seen with was you.
That's how bad it is.
Ladies, we want to hear from you. You know, how do you think, or how would you want us to assist you? Yes, we are doing marches. Yes, we're saying that men are trash. You know, you are feeling unsafe. I would like to, you know, at least for a moment, get to understand what is going through our women's minds. You know, as you feel this uncertainty. And also, what are our leaders saying? Yes, it's fine. You know, our president can speak about it. But what are we doing? Yes, we said that there's life sentences that we've given. But how is that helping to secure, you know, our women to feel like I can go to the mall and not have to worry about me going back home, seeing my kids, you know, or am I going to get hijacked and get raped? Or even at home, should I call and say that my husband is beating me up?
Yeah.
You know, can I report him and feel safe that the case itself will be taken serious? Because of now, other women are saying that, hey man, people with money can do whatever that they want. So they can pay off cops, they can pay off judges. That's what the conversation itself is going to.
Exactly. On this side of the screen, talking about the whole war conversation we had about men going to war, Lena says also the entitlement to women's bodies. She says that the policing of women's bodies and behavior, right, and entitlement. Then she says women were also part of the war front lines.
Yeah.
And we have all dealt with social and economic issues, absent parents, and post-apartheid streets. So in other words, I think what she's trying to say is that it's not an excuse for men to rationalize some of their behaviors or the inclination to behaving a certain way based on what they have experienced historically or what has been expected of men historically.
I mean, Bona,
I think I agree, but I also disagree in a bit, because in as much as women were also part of, you know, war front lines, they were not expected then it was not an expectation.
With men, there was a certain expectation for you to be part of the war.
Yeah.
And also, even if you look at the schooling system, we're raised to be highly competitive. You look at even some of the contact sports, whether it's martial arts, whether it's rugby, whether it's boxing. The majority of those sports are very, very highly violent sports. And egos were also being tested every single day. It's like, who's the strongest man in the group? If a guy calls you this and then your friends are telling you, are you gonna let him call you that? Come on, dog. All these little moments in our lifetime, they might not seem like much, but the psychological impact it has on the human being, it will be a shocker.
Dude, I'm blown away by your insight. Today. Yes. No, but that's absolutely true. The fact that men are always taught to dominate at all costs.
At all costs. Because you are taught to be highly competitive. You have to win. If you don't win, you are called a loser. Now, you just need to think about it. Imagine growing up being called a loser for most of your life. The things that you will do when you are then feeling like I'm in a position of power. Now you've got this woman and you want to dominate her because of you being bullied. That's why we also talk about bullying. Because of in sports, that's what bullying really was about. I played sports growing up, man. And I remember even when I was like in standard 6 and the matric boys, I used to fear the matric boys. And they will make sure that you fear them. One incident happened when I was still in boarding school, and usually in boarding school, when you sit on the table, it will be grades, so even when you dish up by grades. So it would be the matric, standard 9, standard 8, standard 7, standard 6, and I was the only standard 6 on the table. Wednesdays used to be my favorite days because we used to have chicken, right? Like that's the best meal you ever get at boarding school. Was a chicken. Then the matric gents takes my chicken. Now I'm like, oh, I'm only having salad without the chicken, and I stood up, and you're not allowed to stand up. Right?
Who goes there?
Yeah, no. I stood up and I went and I fetched my chicken. I told him, hey, man, listen, my mom paid for it. Right? And then they told me, he told me straight up, it's like, we gon' fuck you up. And I'm like, I don't care. Guess what happened to me? Did they not beat me up? For a good 45 minutes, matric boys, at the time. But, you take the pain, you take the beating, you get up.
Once they've dished out the pain, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore,
You're like, okay, you guys are going to do this again? The shit that I survived?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was just very fortunate to have a lot of good male role models in my life that taught me about the importance of being a good man, and treating your woman right. So I used to see this as my daily upbringing. I've never seen violence in my own household. I've never seen it. My mom has never hit me, right? So when then we talk violence, for me, it's like, ooh, that's an uncomfortable conversation. But how many men grow up having role models? How many men come out of war and having someone to talk to, and someone that they can trust, that they can open up to? How many women are also open to hear some men when they come home and say, babe, I want to tell you about the troubles that I have and inside me, and then understand and and feel like it's a safe space for me to share with my woman, and she will not use it also against me.
So let me give you my personal opinion, and it might be unpopular, but it's fine as long as it's documented. So here's the thing. I think there's two types of men who are violent against women, right? There's the man who's just generally violent. Yeah. So in other words, if ever I say something that this guy feels disrespected by, he's going to fuck me up.
Yeah.
Nah? So he doesn't care whether you're a man or a woman. He's going to fuck you up if he feels angry or disrespected.
Yeah.
Then there's this other type of man who only preys on women or only exercises violence on women.
Because somebody targets a hand.
Yes. And I think that is the man that... So like I said, there's these two different types. So if you are naturally violent, you're naturally violent, don't be violent. Obviously, violence is wrong.
Yeah.
But then your beating on a man or a woman is not based on gender. Yeah. It's based on your own internal issues. Nah? And then there's those gens who just want to dominate women and who feel strong. Those and so I've
Muso, you've kind of like really just brought a good perspective, right? That I think it's always been a debate, whether do we then profile the men that are violent. So that we must understand that different individuals act differently because of the different situations that they grew up in, but because of they see life differently. And I also just want to read here some of the comments here. Miss Inzema says, agree with the gents there. We've also got Zbongile, we drink and we have PhDs, bro, so this is bull. The alcohol, it's a problem. And then AB Peter says the masculinity and manhood that champions aggressions over empathy and domination over collectivism is strong, and it will not serve us in this era. Our women are dying at the hands of black men, right? The cowards hide behind alcohol. They're just sick.
Yeah.
And these are real conversations. AB also says this is a painful but necessary revolution on how these conversations on violence must be holistic, much needed conversation. Yeah. Nkuli says, I've been saying, and thanks for the invite also. Oh, there Nkuli, So there's a lot of other factors that obviously I think we need to go to the grassroots of the problem. Our schooling system, right? Do we also check when we send our kids to school, what are they being taught? Do we also measure the impact of competitiveness in the sports field, the psychological impact it has on a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and growing up, being taught that violence, is the order of the day? Do we have safe homes? Because yes, someone could say, yeah, but in my home, my parents raised me in a particular way. But do you maybe just sometimes come from a place of compassion and wonder, what is my neighbor going through, right? So we've got some voice notes, obviously, that we would like also just to listen in, to hear some of the viewpoints, from our women, from our gents. And Tato also here says they are scared of their other men and make themselves feel better and strong by preying on women. I think that's also what you were saying there, Muso, about, there's different types of gents. There's the violent ones and there's the ones they've been bullied themselves.
Yes.
Right? But I want to urge, a lot of people to, I watch Law and Order, Special Victims Unit.
We need to have a chat about that.
And yesterday I was watching an episode about this young kid who's 14 years of age, and he raped a 10-year-old girl, he raped an 11-year-old boy. Right, and when they were arguing the case, it's because of this young man grew up watching porn, at a very, very young age. And they're talking about the role that media plays to perpetuate violence. And I don't know how many of us here remember watching The Bold and the Beautiful, and we then plugged in and learned how to kiss. Yeah. From The Bold and the Beautiful.
And our parents used to say, Kwalamato.
And our parents used to say, Kwalamato. And our parents used to say, don't watch Yizo, because of it'll incite.
You're going to learn things that are too young.
Too young.
That are too explicit for you to learn. And by the way, to those listening, so this morning, Tato sends me a text. No, last night. I slept early. He sent it to me last night. He's like, I was watching Law and Order, and this is what this episode happened, whereas effectively the episode was saying that if a person is exposed to porn, a man or boy is exposed to porn at a very young age, their likelihood of becoming sexual criminals is greater. And when I said let's talk about this on air, this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to say, imagine what's going to happen in the next few years, because today young kids have phones, right? Young kids have phones.
No control over.
Young boys have phones, and as a 12-year-old, bro, I'm telling you, a 12-year-old is looking to see some sex.
Yeah,
I'll guarantee you that.
Even 10-year-olds.
Exactly. So when they've got free access to sex, because when you go to these porn sites or whatever, I do Kopele, they just say,
they don't ask
are
you
you 18?
And then you can just say yes.
Exactly. So these people are getting exposed to hardcore sexual content. So
and also even violent content.
Exactly.
Violent content. And I think even this young boy, even on the episode, and during the court case, they ask him, do you understand what rape is? And he says yes, but when you were raping these other kids, did you know that you're? And he's like, no, but they were saying yes. And and that's what the lawyer was arguing, is that he can't differentiate
exactly
between the two. And they actually even acquitted the boy. They didn't even find him guilty.
How old was he?
He was 14.
So here's the thing. So the other benefits of Conrad having a lawyer. So in law, there's certain presumptions. So I'll try to remember them from the textbook. So between 0 and 6 years, you are irrebuttably considered not to have criminal liability. In other words, if a 5-year-old kills someone, they can never go to prison ever.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they can never go to prison because the law says that this person does not comprehend the magnitude.
I'm assuming this is in the South African
No,
context.
yeah, South African.
And we're not saying go and hire kids to go and kill people, guys.
Yeah.
Please do not do
Yeah.
it. Please
So,
do not do it.
Between 0 and 6 years, no matter what crime you commit, you can never be held accountable for it.
Jeez.
Because the law says that this person has no capacity to understand their actions and the results of their actions. And then from 7, I think, to 14 or
Yeah.
to 17, I did this undergrad level. They'll correct me if I'm wrong. They say that you have you have no capacity to be held liable or culpable for your crimes, but that is rebuttable. In other words, the presumption is that between 7 and 14 or 18 or 17, if you commit a crime, the presumption is that you do not have the capacity to appreciate your wrongdoing unless the court or the prosecutor can prove that you understood very well what you were doing. So with that 14-year-old, because he was exposed to porn and stuff like that, that worked in his favor, because when you're exposed to something in a very young age, you do not have the time to start understanding
And to process it.
exactly. So you start doing it as you see it, and on that basis, but then that's a very scary thing, because I was just thinking to myself, imagine how much rape we're gonna have, in schools.
Man, I mean, if you look at the rise, and I think also that's one of the things that they spoke about, but it was actually research that it's actually done, because of also Law and Order does obviously take a lot of like cases that are real cases that have happened. And what you find is that media, I think even at the time, I mean, they were saying that it's doubled, sexual crimes committed by young kids, because of TV has become like the place where sex, alcohol, drugs, it's where it lives. Educational content has reduced, right? What you watch on television, on reality, it's about lifestyle, drinking alcohol, doing this, doing that. Nothing that is progressive mentally. Exactly. And you ask yourself, 78 days of lockdown, what kind of content have kids been watching on television? What kind of environments are kids growing up in? Now imagine if a household is highly violent. What are we expecting from our young boys? What are we expecting from our young girls? What are we expecting when there's high levels of poverty right now in this country, where young girls now are sleeping with older men just to survive?
It's bad.
Just for that 50 rand or that 100 rand. And also a lot of young girls that are spending time on Instagram, and even young boys that are spending time on Instagram, just wanting a specific lifestyle, but not understanding that you have to work for every single thing that you want in life.
I have a friend of mine who showed some interest in some girl on social media. Shows interest, not in one of smart. He starts talking to this woman, this girl. They start talking, they have a good time. This girl is fully developed. The man ukatlehi. Luckily, this guy goes to one of his mates. He's like, "Hey, I met this other girl from your hometown. I met her on social media. She's from your hometown. I'm a judge." His boy was like, "Hey, mwanabo mang mang." To find out that this girl is actually 15 years old.
15.
Ayakile. She's what, 19? Yeah, around 19. Imagine. And this guy now called. Like, this guy remembered. Like, this guy believed her. Because that's why I'm with seats. How old are you?
Now, I want to ask then, so then a girl says to me that I'm 19 years of age, right? Lies, right? And then I'm 19 years of age. I sleep with the girl.
Yeah.
What then happens in court?
If she's 19. Oh, she's lying.
She lied to me and said that she's 15.
Okay.
Is it, because this is what I also want men just to understand, right?
So this is this is how it works. So there's obviously, so crime, before you get convicted of a crime, there needs to be intention. One of the few crimes that you can be convicted for that does not need intention is culpable homicide, where you kill someone without the intention to kill.
Like
you
a
were
self-defense?
negligent. No, you were negligent.
Or negligent, okay.
Yeah. Let's say it's an snacks. I don't have the intention to kill.
Okay.
It's a crime that doesn't require intention. But then, every other crime requires intention. Né? So, in other words, so if ever you meet a girl, you find out that she's young after the fact, and you get charged with statutory rape, the test is going to be this. If they look at this girl, could she pass as someone who is old enough to give consent? If she doesn't, then you're going to jail. But if she can pass as someone who's old enough to give consent, then...
you know what? I think it's important, man, that we teach people about law so that we understand. Not that we want to teach you so that you can find ways on how to break the law, right? But I think it's important because of these conversations. We only privilege to them because we would know an attorney who can, I could ask a couple of questions and you could guide me. Now, a lot of men then get trapped, and here's the thing in this thing is that these kind of like little incidents, they then amount to these challenges that we're having on this gender-based violence thing, man. It's such a huge conversation for us to have. No. We won't solve it today, but I think it's important that even when we walk out, we just need to really, really start thinking more deeper about where does this violence come from? Who perpetuates it? Right? What promotes? Is it television? Is it our parents? Is it alcohol? Is it the fact that there's no mentors? Is it poverty? What is it? So we need to find what the core fundamental problem is, so that we know what we are solving for. Do you have voice notes there, ladies and gents? And before we even get to the voice notes, Sbongile here says level of maturity in that studio is awesome. Oh, thanks, Tato.
Oh, whoa.
For your show, guys. So informative. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you guys are finding it informative. And, that's what I'm saying, guys. Share your experiences, share your notes with us. Let us know if ever you've ever encountered, someone from your family who's either, been killed, whether, female, in the hands of a man. The story, the fact that the boyfriend hired somebody, paid him 70,000 rands because of the poor girl did not want to have an abortion. You took away the right that someone, but, and then I asked myself, I'm like, yo, homeboy, when you're sleeping with a girl without a condom and you came inside her, what were you expecting is going to happen, brother?
Can I be a true Mamelodi
What
boy?
do you think was going to happen?
Can I be a true Mamelodi
She wasn't going to get pregnant?
Can I be a true Mamelodi boy for a second?
True.
If ever.
He's coming out, ladies and gentlemen.
If ever, that
Yes.
boy. If ever, that boy, I'm accused of
Yeah.
you're mine.
Okay.
You're mine. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because you can't put any other family, like you can't be putting a person's family through that. You can't.
Joe,
Like,
that mono gets snide.
Are you God?
No, that mono Joe gets snide.
You know what the funny thing is? So
70,000. When was
her
that talking
uncle-
when I got 70,000?
her uncle, Tsuku's uncle,
Yeah.
was the lawyer, the attorney for, remember when Karabo, the one who was burnt,
Yeah.
was the lawyer for the guy who,
You
I
kidding me?
swear on my life, I saw that yesterday.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, it came full circle. So I watched some speech. This guy was like, I understand now. I can feel it. This is the guy who defended.
Who was defending the guy?
Ola.
That murdered Karabo.
I was like, what are the odds of that happening?
Hey,
That
man,
guy was like,
they call it karma. They say karma, and I'm not saying that he deserved it, or the family deserved it, right? And that's the thing, and maybe that's why, man, I find law and order so interesting. Is that there's never a right, there's never a wrong when it comes to law, or someone committing a crime. I mean, I remember one of the episodes where the prosecutor, said that, let me feel sorry for this guy. Feel sorry for this guy. Says, no, it's fine. Let him go to rehab. This guy says, just after he's been acquitted, that, hey, man, I actually did these things because I actually enjoyed them. And he's like, this guy played me. He played me. He lied to me. So now you then think about that there will be a genuine person next time who's going to ask the prosecutor to say, mercy.
Yeah.
And she's going to say,
Let them rap,
fuck you.
man. Let them rap.
She's going to say, no. You know, you are bona urongo, you know. Moise, Sibongile, I know, right? I did not know
No.
about that Sofatso thing.
Yeah, dude.
The uncle. Like, it scares me.
Dude, I was shook. I was like, what are the odds? That guy was saying to him, like, that guy was like, Abulela speech. You know, I'm the one, I was the attorney for this guy. And then he said, from now on, if ever something happens, so you come to me, you say you're a rapist, I'm turning you away. You come to me, you say you've killed, I'm turning you away. But meanwhile, he was defending this person. And let me tell you from a professional point of view, his words, when he says that if you come to me and you say you're a rapist, you've raped, or you've said you've killed, it means that his clients tell him the truth. Nah. And even in legal profession and legal ethics, if you come to me and you tell me you've raped, I'm not going to defend you, my buddy.
That's why he's my attorney, ladies and gentlemen, because he's a guy also battling dilote snacks. So I'm calling out on the gents that sit back and watch their male friends beat up on women, emotionally abuse our women, and say nothing about it. And say absolutely nothing about it because of it's like we part of the cool gang. Listen here, you have no right whatsoever to beat up on anyone's child. If you do it and you feel like you need help, go and get yourself some help. Talk to somebody and stop making excuses for these bad actions, man. Bona, we're not perfect as human beings, man. But we have to be held accountable for our actions. Prison is not enough for some of these guys that are committing these crimes. It's not enough.
It's not enough.
And if you're a guy and you just keep promoting this bad behavior, my brah, your time will come. It will either happen to your sister, to your mom,
your child,
or your child. And you might think that it will not happen, but I promise you, my brother. And I'm not wishing it upon you. But I'm just saying, wake up, and do the right thing.
The world just has a way of balancing itself out. That's the thing.
Di tla o boela, me bra. Di tla o boela. You know, so I want to salute all the gents that have, started the marches. Black Coffee, Matthew Mensa, all the gents that have stood up and are doing something about it. Yeah. Here at Conversational Radio TV, we're not afraid to talk about it.
We're not.
We're not afraid to talk about it. We want to call you out. There's a voice note that I want us to listen to very quickly, and then we'll go back because we're about to have our next guest, Mr. Tumelo Chaka, who's head of sales and strategy and Forex and investments for Nedbank. And he's an entrepreneur also himself, and he's going to be talking about SMMEs and SMME development. He's also a brother who's also a father himself, who also speak about, these bad gents that are misbehaving. Listen to these voice notes that I'm about to play.
Hey, Conrad family. My question to you today is, why is it that we as people are so prone and so quick to support other initiatives such as the Black Lives Matter initiatives, and we are not so quick to jump onto the wagon of supporting women who are going through issues of gender-based violence? So I want to know, why is it that we are able to do that, but we're not able to stand up for a woman and stand up for the safety and the way in which we as women are treated and we as women are looked at?
Hi, Conrad family. I just wanted to find out, why does the hashtag men are trash make men very angry? Because I know as women, we are just as upset that we're being killed every single day, but men are upset at a mere hashtag because we're trying to bring awareness to a genocide happening. Why is it that they get very, very upset at the mere hashtag of men are trash? Please, can we have a conversation about that?
All right. We can have a conversation about it, and I think it's only fair because, I also saw on Instagram, where a black lady in America was talking about, people are hijacking real conversations, even about Black Lives Matter, and saying that the Democrats are now wanting to hijack it and talk about the GBTQ movement. It's like, let's manage conversations as per what they need to be handled. And let's not mix issues, maybe what I'm saying. Black lives do matter, majority, because of black lives are the ones that have been killed every single day, and there are no repercussions for those that are committing the crimes.
But what I'm saying is this. All men are... not all men are trash. Men are trash.
Muso...
Men are trash, Tato.
Men
are trash.
You see, this is the things that I talk about, and then it perpetuates. Then someone is going to say, okay, you're calling me trash. Commits then a crime and says that, I agree you said that I'm trash, therefore I'll show you that I am trash. So words, guys, words.
Let's let Mbila play.
Words. No. I mean, Mbila will play, but I'm just saying words, guys. Words. Let's choose our words very, very carefully. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that has joined the first hour of the show, and make sure that you tune in for the next show that's about to start. And here on Conversational Radio TV, man, for us it's about having robust conversations, about being responsible, about questioning the state of affair of the country, and also about educating. I mean, Muso here raised a lot of things. I mean, you spoke about even the impact of war on men, and the fact that there's no rehab. There's no safe space. Are we creating enough safe spaces for men to talk? And we need to start doing it now.
Let me say bye to to the guests on Instagram as well, man.
Oh, you want to say bye to the guests on Instagram? Say bye.
Guys, we're coming back on at 5 again. Men are trash. Don't listen to Tatu.
I'm gonna rip this guy out of my grammar. I'm tired of this. Cannot deal. We've got DJ Mbila, ladies and gents. I hope that this Friday, this weekend, you will reflect, do better. Yeah. Love you, yo.
On Rad TV, no hearsay. Hey. Hey. One thing is certain, it's gonna be crazy, yo.
Conversational Radio TV, just different.
Hey.